was Kevin Jr., the son who had just lost his mother. On camera, he broke down. Tears filled his eyes as he begged everyone to stop tearing each other apart in public. That moment, instead of bringing sympathy, turned into another lightning rod for Backlash. Fans weren't just upset, they were furious. Twitter exploded with hashtags like "thar" many times in the show. Excuse me, but you walk away from a confrontation. Okay. I mean, it's tough being on our side and the people making faces while you how catches it all. Honey, listen to me very carefully. We're not saying it anymore today on camera. Hold on, can't do it. We can't ever seem to just have fun. Respect Tracy and Dr. B-Rex ON's messy. Instagram flooded with posts dragging the sisters, accusing them of exploiting their own family for clout. One fan wrote, "This should have been about healing. Instead, it's about ratings." Another fumed, "Y'all really use Tracy's son's pain as a storyline. Disgusting." And yet, despite the outrage, the ratings told a different story. Season 1 of The Braxton pulled in big numbers. People were hate-washing. People were rage-tweeting, but people were still tuning in. And on television, numbers speak louder than morals. It wasn't long before rumors started. Season 2 was inevitable. By the time WeTV finally dropped the Season 2 trailer, the fans were torn. Some swore they'd never watch again. Others admitted curiosity had them hooked. The trailer started off with hope clips of a sister smiling together, visiting Tracy's grave, raising a toast in her memory, even working on a new Braxton family album. It looked like redemption. It looked like healing. It looked like the sisters finally understood what fans wanted. Respect for Tracy, unity for the family, and a chance to show love instead of hate. But then, just when fans thought the Braxtons were turning a corner, the trailer dropped its bombshell. The final scene showed all 5 women at the table. Toni Braxton, elegant and calm as always. Tamar Braxton, the emotional firecracker who never bites her tongue. Tawanda and Trina, both looking tense but trying to keep the peace, and even the matriarch herself. Evelyn Braxton, who rarely appears but always commands attention. The scene began with Tamar Braxton, her voice cracking but her words filled with raw emotion. "Come on, y'all. Let's not do this." It was a plea, a call for peace, a desperate attempt to break the cycle of fights and turn the moment into something better. For a split second, fans thought this was it. This was a healing moment they've been waiting for. But then it happened. Toni Braxton, the calm, collected eldest sister, snapped. Her voice boomed across the table. "Hold on." She rose from her seat, her finger pointing directly at Tamar. Her face was no longer calm. It was fiery. "I was angry." And then she stormed toward her younger sister with a rage fans had never seen before. The screen went black. The only sound left was Tawanda's gasp. Oh my God, it was 3 seconds. Just 3 seconds of footage. But those 3 seconds set the internet on fire. Within minutes, Twitter lit up again. One fan tweeted, "Toni walking upon Tamar. Oh, this is about to be messy again." Another wrote, "So y'all really use Tracy's name again just to hype a Toni versus Tamar fight? Disgusting." And then there were those who admitted what everyone else was thinking. "I said I wasn't watching this season, but after that trailer, I'm watching. This is a Braxton's curse and their blessing. No matter how much backlash, no matter how much outrage, no matter how messy it gets, the world can't look away." Because let's be honest, Toni Braxton and Tamar Braxton have always been firing gasoline. The eldest sister versus the youngest. Calm composure versus emotional chaos. Respect versus validation. Their relationship has been complicated from the start. And every time fans think they've made peace, another explosion proves attention never left. The season 2 trailer didn't just tease drama. It reignited the oldest question in Braxton family history. What is it about Toni and Tamar that keeps pulling them back into conflict for years? Fans have whispered about jealousy, resentment, and unspoken wounds. Toni Braxton, the legend, the Grammy winner, the global star. Tamar Braxton, the breakout reality star who always felt like she lived in her sister's shadow. That shadow has fueled Tomorrow's drive, her frustration, and sometimes her public breakdowns. And Toni, who has always carried herself with grace, has often seemed cold or dismissive when Tamar needed validation the most. Now with Season 2 looming, fans are asking, Is this clash just another reality TV stunt? Or is it a real reflection of a relationship that's been fractured for decades? The trailer showed moments of hope therapy sessions, family retreats, emotional tributes to Tracy Braxton. But all of that is overshadowed by that one moment Toni standing finger-pointed marching toward Tamar. And that my issue is that I feel like Tracy and Kevin is holding this like vendetta against me since the shows that happened in New York and in DC. Did you say anything to Tracy about this? I didn't say anything to Tracy about this because she has an attitude with me. So, you weren't even able to talk to Tracy? I wasn't able to talk to Tracy because my plan was to talk to Tracy after the show, because we do love and war together at the end. Take a bow for the audience. She laughed, though. I was like, where's Tracy at? So even right now, y'all haven't talked. No. And that's exactly what we TV wanted, because whether you love them or hate them, whether you're rooting for healing or drama, you're going to tune in. You're going to see what happens next. But here's the thing. As if fans aren't just casual viewers anymore. They're detectives. They're analysts. They're breaking down every frame of that trailer, every glance, every word, trying to predict what triggered Toni. Was it something Tamar said? Was it about Tracy's legacy? Was it about money, fame, or buried resentment? Or was it simply years of bottled-up emotion finally exploding on camera? The truth is, nobody knows yet. And that mystery, that unanswered question, is exactly why this fight has become the most talked about Braxton moment in years. One thing is clear. This isn't just another season of the Braxtons. This is a war. A war between legacy and ratings. Between healing and chaos. Between sisters who love each other but can't stop clashing. The screen went black in the trailer. But the real story? That's just the beginning. And the question every fan is asking now. What exactly did Tamar say? That made Toni lose her composure. The black screen at the end of the trailer said it all. Just 3 seconds of chaos. Toni Braxton rising from her seat. Finger pointed, voice raised, storming straight at Tamar Braxton, and then silence. The gas from Tawanda was the only sound left ringing in fans' ears. That moment set off a firestorm online. Within hours, YouTube breakdowns were uploaded. Twitter threads were dissecting every frame, and fan accounts were throwing out theories like wildfire. What could Tamara have possibly said that sent Toni over the edge? Let's be clear, Toni Braxton is not the sister who loses control easily. She's the eldest, the calm one, the composed one, the one who always carries herself like the superstar she is. For her to snap in that way, for her to publicly lash out at her youngest sister, that wasn't just shocking, it was historic. And for Tamar Braxton, drama is nothing new. She's fiery. She's unfiltered. She's emotional. But even she looked stunned in that trailer. Her voice had been soft, pleading, "Come on, y'all. Let's not do this." That's not Tamar at her loudest. That's Tamar at her most vulnerable. And somehow, even in that vulnerability, it was enough to set Toni off. Fans immediately split into camps. One side was furious with Toni. They said she disrespected Tamar, that she never truly supports her, that she always finds a way to dismiss or diminish her. One tweet that went viral read, "Toni Braxton might be a legend, but the way she treats Tamar on camera is cold." That wasn't sisterhood, that was control. The other side came for Tamar. They claimed she was playing victim, that she knew exactly what to say to push Toni's buttons, and that she had once again turned family pain into public spectacle. A fan wrote on Instagram, "Tamar is always crying, always playing the black sheep." Maybe Toni snapped because she's tired of the same script. But beyond the fan wars, one truth remained. The moment was real. The tension was undeniable, and it had the entire internet glued to the screen. Behind the scenes, whispers started leaking. Some insiders claimed the fight wasn't just about Tamar's plea at the table. They said the cameras didn't catch the build-up heated words exchanged off-screen she had thrown minutes before, and years of resentment bubbling just beneath the surface. One source hinted it wasn't one line. It was everything. Decades of Toni feeling one way, and Tamar feeling another. That dinner table was a bomb waiting to go off, and the trailer just showed the explosion. This isn't new for the Braxton sisters. Longtime viewers of Braxton family values remember the cracks in Toni and Tamar's bond. From the early days of the show, Tamar would complain that Herald's sisters, especially Toni, didn't take her seriously. She hated being seen as a baby. She hated being dismissed. And Toni was often exhausted by Tamar's constant need for validation, her dramatic outbursts, her refusal to tone it down. That tension has simmered for years. What makes this clash different is timing. This isn't the old Braxton family values era. This is after Tracy Braxton's death. This is after season 1 Backlash. This is after fans demanded healing and respect. Which is why this fight hits harder, because instead of unity, instead of love, instead of redemption, what we're seeing is more chaos. The trailer gave us glimpses of hope. Evelyn Braxton, the matriarch, reminding her daughters, "I lost one daughter. I don't want to lose any more emotional words, heartfelt sentiment," but fans are naive. They know Evelyn has tried to be the peacemaker before, and it hasn't always worked. The sisters are too strong-willed to stubborn to scared. And then there's a shadow of Tracy. Her absence hangs over every frame. She was the peacekeeper, the quiet one who spoke her mind when necessary, the one who often tried to ground her sisters when things got out of hand. Without her, the balance is gone and fans know it. One viral post put it bluntly. Tracy was the glue. Without her, it's just chaos still. As messy as it is, this is what makes the Braxton compelling. Their chaos is raw. Their fights are real and fans can't look away. Let's break down that dinner table moment. The setup. All 5 women seated, cameras rolling, wine glasses on the table. Tension thick in the air. Tamar Braxton, eyes wet, voice low, pleads for peace. Evelyn Braxton watches her expression pained but unreadable. Tawanda and Trina sit tight, winning for the storm. And then out of nowhere, Toni Braxton erupts. She doesn't just speak, louder. She doesn't just disagree. She physically rises, finger pointed like a weapon, and storms toward her sister. This wasn't just a clapback. This wasn't just shade. This was a confrontation. And for Toni to do that on camera, that means whatever was said, whatever line was crossed, was deep. What makes it even Jewish is that TV cut the footage right there. They gave us the build-up. They gave us the explosion, but they didn't give us the aftermath. Which means one thing. The aftermath is even more explosive than the trailer could handle. That's why fans are speculating nonstop. Some say the fight was about Tracy. Tamar accused the sisters of failing Tracy in her final years, and Toni couldn't handle hearing it. Others say it was about money, that Tamar brought up estate issues or royalties or behind-the-scenes contracts, and Toni snapped. And then there are those who think it was personal, that Tamar said something about Toni's health, her career, or even her marriage, and it cut to deep. The truth, we don't know yet. But not knowing is what's keeping the buzz alive. Social media has turned into a Braxton courtroom. Fans are pulling up old interviews, old clips, old tweets to prove their theories. Some are resurfacing Tamar's old podcast episodes, where she hinted at being betrayed by her sisters. Others are playing Toni's interviews where she admitted, "I'm in a phase where I don't even like my family." And these receipts are painting a picture. This isn't a new fight. This is the same fight. Years in the making, finally boiling over, and TV knows exactly what they're doing, because this trailer didn't just promote a show. It sparked a cultural conversation. People aren't just asking what happens next. They're asking, what does this mean for the Braxton legacy? That's the tragedy and the brilliance of it all. The Braxtons built their fame on family, on sisterhood, on the messy but beautiful bond that comes with blood. And now that very bond is what's tearing them apart on screen. But here's the kicker. Season 2 isn't just about Toni v. Tamar. It's about all the fractures that ripple out from their clash. Tawanda Braxton and Trina Braxton are caught in the crossfire in Season 1. They were the most entangled in the drama with Kevin Sr. in Season 2. They're back at the table, back in the fire, back reacting to the storm around them, and fans are watching closely to see if they'll pick sides or if they'll get burned trying to stay neutral. Meanwhile, Evelyn Braxton has stepped back into the spotlight in a way she hasn't in years. As the matriarch, her words carry weight. But will her plea for unity be enough? Or will her daughter's pride overshadow her voice once again? The trailer teased unity. The trailer teased healing, but the headline was clear. Toni versus Tamar. That's the fight people are tuning in for. That's the clip going viral. That's the clash fans are dissecting frame by frame. And that's why, as messy as it looks, as disrespectful as some fans believe it is, the Braxton Season 2 is already a success before it even premieres, because everyone wants to know what happens when Toni Braxton and Tamar Braxton collide. But let's not forget trailers are edited for maximum chaos. They're designed to hype, to provoke, to make us desperate for answers. And if that's what we TV wanted, it worked. Because right now, the world is desperate to know what happened at that table. As the premiere date creeps closer, the speculation only grows louder. Fan pages are counting down the days. Reaction channels are predicting blow-ups. Twitter threads are rehashing 10 years of Braxton family drama to explain this one fight. And yet, even with all this noise, even with all this speculation, one truth remains the same. Only the sisters know what really went down. When that trailer cut to black, it wasn't just a cliffhanger. It was a warning. A warning that Season 2 isn't about healing. It isn't about unity. It isn't about redemption. It's about raw, unfiltered, explosive family drama. And the question hanging in the air. The one fans can't stop asking. The one that will drive people to tune in on premiere night. What happened after Toni pointed that finger? The cameras cut, the trailer ended, and fans were left staring at a black screen, gasping, arguing, speculating. But what happened after Toni Braxton stood up, pointed her finger, and stormed at Tamar Braxton? That question became the heartbeat of Season 2 before the first episode even aired. Whispers started spreading online, whispers from production assistants, whispers from extras on set, whispers from people who swore they knew someone in the editing room. According to them, the clash between Toni and Tamar didn't end with a finger point. It erupted into something far bigger. Voices raised, the chairs moved. The kind of moment producers live for, but networks fear. One insider claimed they debated if it was too real to air, too raw, too ugly. But at the same time, they knew this was a clip that would make Season 2 impossible to ignore. And that's the paradox of the Braxton. Their biggest strength is their authenticity. Their mess is their magic. But sometimes that mess cuts so deep, fans don't know if they're watching entertainment or the destruction of a family in real time. The trailer promised moments of healing. A family visit to Tracy Braxton's grave, a toast in her honor. Even a scene of Toni Braxton singing a tribute that reportedly left the entire set in tears. But as powerful as those moments looked, fans couldn't shake the shadow of that fight. Because this wasn't just sisters arguing, this was a legacy. This was trauma. This was to women who've been circling the same storm for decades, finally colliding on camera. To understand why this clash hit so hard, you have to go back. Toni Braxton, the eldest, the global superstar, the legend who gave the world Unbreak My Heart. Breathe again. He wasn't man enough. She carried the Braxton name into the stratosphere. She set the standard. She was a blueprint. But being the eldest also made her the enforcer, the protector, the one who always had to keep the family together whether she wanted to or not. Then there's Tamar Braxton, the youngest, the firecracker, the sister who always refused to play small. The one who demanded to be heard, to be respected, to be seen as more than Toni's little sister. Tamar's breakout in Braxton family values wasn't just about her personality. It was about years of feeling overlooked, finally bursting out into the spotlight. This dynamic has always fueled their tension. Toni calm and guarded versus Tamar, loud and vulnerable. Toni the legend versus Tamar the underdog. And in that dinner table scene, all of it came crashing together. Fans on social media brought receipts. They resurfaced clips of Tamar crying on earlier seasons, saying her sisters didn't support her dreams. They replayed interviews where Toni admitted she was in a phase where I don't even like my family. They posted Tamar's cryptic tweets about being betrayed by those closest to her piece by piece. They built the case. This wasn't just dinner drama. This was decades of pain boiling over. But here's the twist. This season isn't only about fights. Sources close to production have revealed that season goes deeper. Therapy sessions, family retreats, moments where the sisters are forced to sit in their truth and confront what's been festering for years. In one leaked clip, Tamar Braxton reportedly breaks down in therapy. Admitting through tears, "I'm tired of feeling like the black sheep." And across from her, Tanda confesses her own struggles, admitting she's carried resentment for Tamar's outbursts. but also guilt for not being more supportive. Then there's Toni Braxton, who faced heavy criticism during season 1 for clashing with Kevin Sr. in season 2. Insiders say she has one of the most powerful arcs. In a scene fans are already calling long overdue, Toni reportedly sits down with Kevin Jr. to talk about grief, forgiveness, and the pain of losing Tracy. It's said to be raw, emotional, the kind of moment that shows that Braxtons aren't just reality stars. They're real people living through real loss. And then there's Evelyn Braxton, the matriarch, the woman who raised these daughters in a tight-knit church going home in Maryland. She's back in a more prominent role this season, and her voice cuts through the noise like only a mother's can. In one powerful moment, she tells her daughters, "I lost one daughter. I don't want to lose any more of my children to pride." That line alone, leaked from the trailer, sent chills through the fan base. Because it's not just television, it's true. Still, for every tearful confession, for every tender tribute, the looming question remains. Can the Braxton truly heal on camera? Or is the drama too profitable to let go? Fans are skeptical. One comment summed it up. "I'll believe the healing when I see it. Until then, this is just another mess for ratings." And that skepticism is fair. Because as much as fans want redemption, it's the fights that go viral. It's the clashes that trend. It's the chaos that keeps people glued to the screen. Which is why season 2 is walking a dangerous line. Every heartfelt moment risks being overshadowed by every explosive confrontation. At the center of it all is still Toni and Tamar. Their bond is complicated, layered, and messy. They love each other, that's never been in doubt. But love doesn't erase resentment. Love doesn't erase jealousy. Love doesn't erase the years of feeling misunderstood. And in front of the cameras, that love often gets buried under the weight of pride. Fans are asking, will Toni and Tamara reconcile this season? Or will this fight be the final nail in the coffin of their relationship? Producers are teasing big reveals. One scene reportedly shows Toni Braxton admitting she regrets being distant, especially during tomorrow's struggles. Another shows Tamar tearfully confessing she never felt enough compared to her sisters. If those scenes air, they could change everything. They could be the beginning of real healing, or they could be edited into just another storyline for drama. And that's what makes this so gripping, because with the Braxton, you never know. One minute they're crying together, the next minute they're screaming at each other. One minute they're raising a toast, the next minute the glass is shattering. That unpredictability is what keeps fans hooked. As the premiere date approaches, anticipation is at an all-time high. Fan pages are posting daily countdowns. Reaction channels are prepping live streams. Hashtags are already trending. Some fans are hopeful. Some are cynical. But all of them are watching because this isn't just reality TV. This is a legacy. This is family. This is a messy, unfiltered, explosive truth of what happens when the Braxton sisters come together under one roof. And whether they heal or destroy each other, one thing is certain. Season 2 will be the most talked about season yet. The world is rooting for them. Rooting for healing. Rooting for sisterhood. Rooting for redemption. But after that trailer, after that finger point, after that blackout, fans are bracing for war. So the question remains, will Toni Braxton and Tamar Braxton finally find peace in season 2? Or will their clash at that dinner table mark the beginning of the end for the Braxton legacy?